Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Fearless and Flourishing, where we encourage and empower women, especially my single mamas out there. I see you, to thrive and live your best life. My name is Sarah Simon. I am a life coach. I am a singer. I'm an author. I'm an artist. I'm an ordained minister and counselor and friend, of course, but my favorite hat is mama. And I'm here to share a little bit of what I have learned on my journey along the way as a single mom and doing all these things that have added up. So let's get started. I found a quote that I wanted to share with you today. And the quote is that you are just in time to live the life of your dreams. Why not? Why not you? Why not this year? 2026 is coming. We are full steam ahead. And why not you? Why not now? Today, we're going to talk very quickly about healthy co-parenting. And find my exact title here. All right, 5 principles of healthy co-parenting. We're going to keep this short and sweet. I hope so. We're going to keep it moving. All right, number 1, put the child's needs first. Number 2, keep communication open and respectful. And I will elaborate on all these. Number 3, be consistent and flexible. Number 4, do not undermine the other parent in front of the child, which goes back to being respectful, of course. And then regularly review what is working and what isn't, and be open. All right. So we're going to talk about what works when you have someone in your life who is an active co-parent. And then at the end, we're going to talk about what to do if you don't. If you've got a toxic co-parent, or if you just don't even have another co-parent available at all in the picture, what do you do? How do you handle that? How do you create the healthiest environment for your child? And how do you model healthy relationships? So in my case, I happen to have a very good boundaried co-parenting relationship with my son's father. So that hasn't always been that way, but it has evolved through the years, and we co-parent very well together. It's respectful. My son has said in the past, well, I have 2 families. And I said, no, you have 1 family. You just have 2 homes. Mom and dad aren't together. We don't live together. You have 2 homes, but you have 1 family. And that is the attitude that I have wanted to convey to him, that just because his mom and dad have not been able to stay together, that our relationship was broken. He does not come from a broken home. He comes from a family that sticks together in a healthy boundary way for his sake. And we can remain cordial, his father and I. We can work together for the sake of our child. And that's what matters. So going back to number 1, put the child's needs first, right? So many times in relationships and families where mom and dad are no longer together, maybe there's either a remarriage that has taken place, or we're just divorced or separated or whatever. The child doesn't always come first. The child sometimes can suffer. We've all seen families like that, where either mom and dad are fighting, or there's just some kind of issue, and the kid kind of leaves. He gets lost. She gets lost in the shuffle, and no one ever wants that, but sometimes it happens. So it's very important. Of course, we all want to put the child's needs first. So always make decisions based on what helps the child feel safe, stable, and loved. So mom has needs, dad has needs. We all have different lives. We all have different things we need to do, work responsibilities, family priorities, etc. but what is best for your child. Because that kid only has one mother and one father and one life. And their life is literally what the parent creates. So, what helps your child feel safe, stable, and loved? And another thing is avoid putting your child or children in the middle, like using them as messengers or making them choose sides. That can be very damaging. So let's be grown-ups, right? Let's put on our big girl and big boy pants and learn how to communicate and talk to each other, even if that person that we have to co-parent with isn't our favorite person. We can still communicate in a respectful way. So that goes to number 3, keeping communication open and respectful, okay? So we're going to speak calmly to each other. We're going to avoid blame and insults. We're going to focus on logistics, getting from point A to point B, how to make things work in our family for the sake of the children. Okay? So, all right, if I have something against him, he has something against me, maybe we annoy the heck out of each other, maybe I don't like how he handled this, or maybe he doesn't like how I handled this, okay? We don't always need to discuss those things. Sometimes we can overlook those things. Remember that this person that you are now co-parenting with used to be someone that you loved, used to be that person that you saw value in. So, keeping communication open and respectful, look to honor your co-parent wherever possible. Even if you don't like how they did A, B, and C, maybe they did E and F well, or maybe in the past they did A, B, and C well. Bring that up and bring it up in front of your child, okay? So that child is half you and half your co-parent. It's important that your child knows that they have good in them from both sides, even if you can't stand the person that you are co-parenting with. All right, so maybe, okay, for example, you are a co-parent, you are a mom, and you're, the former love of your life, the person that you now are stuck co-parenting with, is extremely disrespectful to you. Let's just say that hypothetically. Maybe for some of us, not so hypothetically, right? Say we have that situation and it's very frustrating. What can we do? First of all, don't say anything negative about that person in front of your child, because that's a reflection of your child. That person is half of who he or she is. But what you can do, even if the person that you are now stuck co-parenting with isn't your favorite person in the world, to put it mildly, maybe you can't stand them. Think about something that they did or used to do that had value and talk to your child or children about that thing. Hey, your dad used to make the best egg omelet. He used to fix the car, and he's really good at problem solving, and you're probably going to be great at those things too. Something to that effect. Make sure that even though it's okay to highlight, hey, your dad isn't the best at being on time, and I'm sorry he broke his promises to you. For example, if that were the case, okay, you can say that, but also say, your dad really cares about this. He's really good at his job. And give that child some good to see in that parent, even if there are issues. So you want to keep communication open and respectful with the other co-parent, whether or not they're doing it or not. To you, you manage your emotions, and you are responsible for how you treat the other person, because your children are looking to you. They're looking to the other parent, but they're looking to you as well. So it does not profit anyone anything if we dish back out mistreatment, right? So be the bigger person, speak good whenever possible. Avoid blame or insults. Just try to make things happen as clearly as possible. I lost my notes. All right, so moving on. Maintain reliable schedules, similar rules, and clear expectations between homes. Now, that sounds really good in theory, doesn't it? But it can be kind of laughable sometimes if there are big differences between parents and parenting styles, okay? Maybe one parent wants to get the children to bed early. Maybe the other parent doesn't see why it matters before they're in bed before midnight, for example. So at that point, what are you going to do? You kind of have to roll with the punches. And we can't always deal with, we have no, I'm going to rephrase this. We have to deal with what we are given. But in your home and in your circle, what is your influence? Okay, maybe the kids come back tired. Okay, so we've got a day for a recovery period where we know they're probably going to be hungry, or they're going to be a little overtired, or maybe they're not going to be responding to your direction as well. All right, we're just going to have a buffer period, okay? So maybe that day when the kids come home, we're just going to take it easy. We're going to order pizza, we're going to have a movie, we're going to have some fun, okay? We're going to maybe just keep things lighter, okay? And then that night, we're going to get to bed a little extra early so the kids can recover from the sleep that they missed with the other co-parent, okay? There's some things we just have to manage. And you can talk into your blue in the face and the other co-parent isn't going to change. So how can you handle that for your own well-being and for your children's well-being without making a repeated issue of something that isn't going to change? So you can talk about it, you can ask, but in the end, we need to figure out how to just roll with the punches and how to sometimes make lemonade out of lemons, right? All right. So we need to be able to adjust when life circumstances change, in a nutshell. Present a united front. Point 3. Okay. Never undermine the other parent in front of the child. Like we were saying before, even if you disagree, communicate that both parents love and support them. Very, very important to say this to your child. And next one. All right. Check in and adjust over time. Regularly review what is working and what isn't. That helps. Be open to making changes and the child grows and their needs evolved. Yes, that's very true. What your child needs as a toddler is going to be very different from what your child needs as a teenager. So how can we grow and adjust and work together for the sake of the child or children? And, it can be helpful to see, all right, out of respect for each other, we can be cordial. We can have boundaries. We can say, hey, how you doing? You need anything? No, I'm good. Do you need anything? But if the person needs something, like, all right, like sometimes my son's father will come help me move something really heavy if I need to. Or he'll, handle a mechanical issue in my car because he knows people who are mechanics. I appreciate that. And I make sure that I let him know that I appreciate it. And sometimes he needs me to run an errand for him if he's busy doing something or other because he works a lot. So that's fine. I can do that. Or I could maybe drop off our son if he doesn't have time to pick him up. So we communicate. There's give and take. And if you can't do something, that's okay. But showing that you support your co-parent in front of your child goes so far. That's called maturity. And that's called showing your children how to respect someone even if you don't get along, because there's a bigger picture. All right, so we've officially covered that. And then, all right, now we're going to jump right into What if you don't have a co-parent, or what if you have a toxic one? What are you going to do? How are you going to handle that? Many people are in that situation. So if that's you, you're not alone. You're not alone. Okay, so then instead of learning how to cooperate with someone and, make some kind of semblance of a healthy family, even if the parents are no longer together, you are going to focus on the maximum stability that you can create in your home and the minimum damage, right? All right, so first, how are we going to do this? Your home is your sanctuary. You are the gatekeeper. Make sure it's peaceful. Create a safe home for you and your children. Make it emotionally safe. Make sure it's clean. Make sure it feels welcoming. Demonstrate kindness and calm to your children. Speak to each other nicely. If you have a really long day or you have a lot of tension or stress, go to the gym or put on a video on YouTube, get a little exercise, take a walk around the block. If you have a dog or children, just get outside, go play catch in the yard, or go do some yard work, do something physical to get the stress and tension out so that you can come inside your home and have peace and breathe a little bit, right? All right, so that can be helpful. Show your children respect, and they will in turn respect you. That's the theory, right? We do our best. We all do our best. And okay, predictable routines do help with that. Next, we're going to talk about boundaries and not battles, okay? So if you've got a toxic ex, we can't control anyone else besides ourselves. And we have some control over what our children do, but not everything. They are autonomous, and we need to respect that as well. They also have choices, right? So it's up to us to put consequences for those choices as parents and teach them well. But we have absolutely no control over anyone else in our life besides ourselves. So if you've got an ex and they're very toxic and even antagonistic, sometimes you have to just gray rock. You can say, okay, this is what's happening. This is what I need. This is what our children need. And then if they keep giving you the runaround, you just say, repeat the same thing, or just don't even let it affect you. Just stay calm and protect your peace. All right. Number 3, show your child what healthy looks like. It's very, very important. It is more important that your children see what one healthy parent looked like. It is better to have one emotionally available, stable parent. It's more powerful and more influential than to have 2 in conflict. So don't think that your parenting capacity is diminished in any way because it's just you. Don't underestimate the impact and the influence that you have on your child, on your children, because you as a mother, or if I've got some single dads watching this, you as a healthy father, co-parent, parenting your child, that healthy dynamic goes a long, long, long way. They're going to see how to self-regulate their emotions. They're going to see how to speak kindly. You can demonstrate forgiveness. You can show them what healthy boundaries are. All these things you can teach your child, and they're going to be watching you because you are the most influential person in their life if you are raising these children. And then if you are the calm one, they're really going to look to you for that source of peace. And they may not always say it, they may not always act like it, but you are the gravity in their world. Next, number 4, almost done. All right, if you don't have a healthy co-parent, if you don't have any co-parent, you can build your own village and support network. They say that it takes a village to raise a child, right? It really does. So we're not an island here. We've got family, we've got friends, we've got teachers, we have a community, if you have a church or a place of worship or some kind of, when my son was little, we used to be really involved in the art community, and I would take him down to the art center, and we'd hang out there, and we'd go do this and that, and we'd volunteer places together, and we would just get involved. And I felt like I had a support network of friends and kind of informal aunts and uncles and grandparents. Let's not forget our grandparents. If they are in the children's life, or say you've got best friends or sisters or brothers, aunts and uncles for these kids, that they matter. And anybody healthy, anyone stable that you can put in your child's life will go a long way. All right. Number 5, short but sweet. Release the fantasy of fairness. Build it anyway. All right. It sucks sometimes to be a single parent because you can feel alone. We don't have that teammate that we're wanting. But like I said before, we can make lemonade out of lemons. Just because sometimes things feel difficult or heavy, it doesn't mean that they need to stay that way. Just remember that that's a passing feeling, that's a passing emotion, and you're not alone. You know, if you're a Christian, if you're a believer, God is with you and he's helping you to raise these children. Mamas, he is your husband in that home. If you are surrendering your life to him, he is father to those children. And because you are the mother, you have authority to pray for them, to declare peace in your home, to be that stabilization, and know that they have a heavenly Father who's good and who loves them, and they don't lack anything because God is more than enough, and he will supply what we need, what's missing. So you're not alone in your home. And I just want to speak that over you and just declare that any weight that you may feel as a single parent is lifting right now, and that the peace of God is coming and surrounding your mind and your heart, filling your home, declaring Psalm 91 over you and your household and your children, that he covers you with the shadow of your wings. And he's holding you and your kids, and he's your helper. Holy Spirit is our helper. Amen. So in a nutshell, when we are co-parenting with a former spouse or former partner, the biggest thing is respect, right? Whenever possible. There's always going to be some things that you disagree with the person you have to co-parent with, because that's why you're not walking together anymore, because you're not agreed. There was a breach somewhere. There was a dissonance somewhere. But how can you respect that person? How can you respect your child's father? How can you show respect and model it to your children? Comes down to communication. Do your very best to communicate clearly whenever possible, and ask for clear communication in response, in return. If you don't have it, try to give grace and continue. Communication is something that we are continuously practicing, and we don't give up, and we don't lose our temper if we don't give it. Healthy boundaries. Heal yourself also, and model that to your kids. Go to therapy. Pray over yourself. Pray over your kids. Read your word. Read the Bible and renew your mind. And with all those things, and I'm also a big fan of art therapy. So put on some worship music and paint or draw or just doodle. It really helps. So get healthy yourself, emotionally, mentally. Take a mental health day or afternoon or morning off of work whenever possible. You know, sometimes we make time to go get our hair done or go get our oil changed. But how much time are you giving to yourself for mental health? If we're the main person who's parenting our child, raising them, teaching them, instructing them, demonstrating what healthy looks like, then we have to take time to be healthy ourselves. It's not an option. Give grace to your co-parent whenever possible. They are not perfect, just as we are not perfect. But how can we be helpful? How can we work together whenever possible? Do what you can in your sphere and pray and give the rest to God, because He cares and He's going to help you raise your family. So honor whenever possible, pray always, stay hopeful, and remember once again that you are just in time to live the life of your dreams. And thanks for tuning in. Good episode. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comments for me. I will read them and respond to them. And cheers to happy, healthy co-parenting. You could do it. It's possible.